One day, Jesus and his disciples cross over to the other side of a lake. And as Jesus climbs out of the boat, a man possessed by demons runs out of the cemetery to meet him. Now, this man had been living among tombs, living among the dead, and no one was able to restrain him. They had tried repeatedly to chain him up and lock him in shackles, and every time he would break free of these chains, and no one was strong enough to control him. So they simply let him be, let him wander around day and night in the cemetery among the dead. And this man would scream and hit himself with stones and cut himself. And Jesus meets this man, and as the demon sees Jesus, the demons scream and shriek and fall to the ground and cry out, "Why are you bothering me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God?" And Jesus commands this legion of demons to leave this man's body and go into this herd of pigs. And when these demons leave the man, he is set free. And for the first time, he's of his right mind. And when the herdsmen see this, they flee to a nearby city. And they spread the news as they run. And everyone rushes to see for themselves. This man that they'd always known to be demon-possessed is finally sitting, clothed and of a sane mind, at the foot of Jesus. And these people become afraid. Who is this man, Jesus, that could possibly have the power and authority to do what they could not do? And so in their fear, they tell Jesus to leave them alone. So Jesus gets back into the boat, and the man who had been demon-possessed begs to go with Jesus. And Jesus says, "No, go home to your friends. Tell them what wonderful things the Lord has done for you and how merciful he has been." So the man sets off to visit the 10 towns of that region, and he begins to tell everyone about the great things that Jesus had done for him. And everyone was amazed at what he had told them. This man is so desperate to be with Jesus, to go wherever Jesus goes. And Jesus says, "No, I am calling you to go into the world. You now have the joy and responsibility to tell others what I have done in your life." And so Jesus tells this man to go speak to his friends and his family and tell them about what Jesus did in his life. But he doesn't just go tell his friends and his family. He goes so far beyond that. He goes to the 10 cities of that region and tells anyone who would possibly listen to him about what Jesus has done, that he has set him free. You see, this man wasn't concerned about what was the social norm of the day, what was appropriate. He wasn't worried if it was appropriate to talk about religion, politics, or money. All that he knew was he had an encounter with the living God, and so he wanted everyone to hear and know the goodness of God. This man was truly a world changer. He was willing to step out of what was normal for him. He was willing to step out of his comfort zone with no fear or doubt or concern about how others might respond to him. He wasn't worried about this. He knew the reality of God because he experienced it for himself. And so he was motivated by this love. And he wanted to share this love with anyone who would possibly listen. I have been set free, and you can be set free too. Let me share this love with you. And everyone who heard him was amazed. It makes me wonder and question, what do we have to possibly experience as Christians to be able to live like this man? To not be afraid to share our faith. To be overwhelmed by the love of God and move and breathe and speak and have our being through Jesus. To be bold enough to say, Jesus has set me free. And you can experience this too. It's not about going to church on Sunday. It's not about reading your Bible. It's not about conforming to what you believe Christianity looks like. It's about experiencing Jesus for yourself. To allow him to set you free. This is what it looks like to share your faith. This is what it looks like to go out into your community and not be afraid of what is considered the social norm. This is a man who has been given his dignity back. He was wandering and living in a cemetery naked, screaming, and hitting himself in the head with rocks. Can you imagine what that would have felt like? And now that he has been set free of this, he wants nothing more than to tell the world about this man named Jesus. And this isn't the only time this happened. You can read through the Gospels and see Jesus every time he would encounter someone and set them free or heal them. They would go out and tell the world. So I ask you, what would it take for you to be a world changer? What would it take for you to go out and change a community with your faith? To tell people about your personal experience, how Jesus encountered you and changed your life, not just for your own sake, but for their sake, so that they could be set free. Let us be a generation of world changers, not afraid of the social norm, overwhelmed by the love of Jesus, and willing to go out and tell others that they too could be set free.